Hello to all, especially to Scott, aka Theoretical Bullshit, whose videos I have enjoyed for quite some time. I've been wanting to join these conversations on YouTube for a while, but never got around to making one. But now here's a debate between, I think, two heavy hitters. Yes, I put Theoretical Bullshit on at least as high a critical level as William Lane Craig, if not higher, and I couldn't resist interjecting, especially because I think I might be able to add some information to the conversation. So this is my first video. I hope it doesn't suck. What I wanted to contribute is a bit of historical philosophical background, which I think will suggest that even though few of us are familiar with Craig's published work, and are probably more familiar with his debates, most if not all of which are available on YouTube, it's rather likely that Craig has addressed this issue before on material and efficient cosmological causality, something he doesn't have much time to do on Facebook, perhaps. The reason why it's likely is because it's a very old discussion in philosophical theology. And I would argue that it's traceable even back to Aristotle, who maintained the position that the cosmos is indeed eternal and denied its creation ex nihilo. And part of the reason why the medieval scholastic theologian Thomas Aquinas included a first mover argument for God's existence, which provides an alternative in case the ex nihilo argument fails. A few centuries after Aristotle, Plotinus accounted for the creation of the material world not out of nothing, but as a kind of emanation from a primary intellect, which many theologians would closely associate with God. Pseudo-Dionysius the Areopagite would continue to develop this position, that God made the world out of himself, i.e. out of the material that is himself. Right, so there's your material causality, it's God himself. To this day, there are a number of Christian theologians who maintain this emanationist conception of the relationship between God and his creation. Obviously, this leads to a pantheistic or panentheistic position at least, but theologians have argued that this is compatible with Trinitarian theology. I'm not so sure that I would. In Indian cosmology as well, nature is often regarded as a manifestation of its ultimate essence, its self or its soul, its Atman, which is usually identified with Brahman, the ultimate reality. For more on this, you can look up Shankara or Ramanuja or other Indian theologians, and many other ones, or just read some of the Upanishads, these ancient philosophical texts and dialogues written in India. And a number of Islamic philosophies as well, especially those influenced by Neoplatonism, like Al-Ghazali or Ibn Arabi. God is deemed al-haq, or the real. And so anything that is real, that we would call real, including the cosmos, has God not as its ontologically separate creator, but as its ontological core. So the material causal objection to the Kalaam Cosmological argument and alternatives to ex nihilo philosophical theology are not new, and anyone who reads Aristotle on causality should notice the flaw in Craig's logic. But still, if Craig has not adequately responded, then Scott deserves credit for pressing Craig on the issue. However, I think within what Scott calls himself the ethics of discourse, I think, Scott, that you should read Craig's book on the Kalaam Cosmological argument. It should contain any thorough response that Craig might not have time to give on Facebook. And if you find his response is yet another example of theoretical bullshit, then, my friend, you will have even more powerful ammunition with which to mow down this glass cannon of an apologist. Go forth, and I cannot wait to see the wrecking ball that ensues. Enjoy.